Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batwoman Season 3, Episode Trust Destiny. I have no idea why it's titled that, because the events that happened, I don't know, it just didn't seem like, you should trust destiny and everything. Anyway, so Batwoman is finally back. I still haven't seen the episode that came before this. I kept saying I was going to, but I never did. Uh, I guess there's no point now since, well, Poison Ivy is back in the flesh. And so in this episode, finally, Bridget Regan has finally showed up as Poison Ivy. And it's about freaking time, man. I'm still not used to seeing her with red hair. I know that's her natural hair color, but I'm used to seeing her with dark brown hair. Um, so like, there's a couple of good things in this episode, kind of like some things. It really didn't feel all that much like a, 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 a um like a mid-season opener. Like, I don't know, it just felt more like a filler type episode with just some interesting stuff that like happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got some backstory into like Poison Ivy and Renee Montoya and stuff, but the twist at the end, it's just kind of like, okay, one, I didn't see that twist coming. And two, is kind of like, I don't know, I probably should have after watching all this stuff that happened in the flashbacks, but I just didn't connect, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say one thing. A fan theory is totally right about the location of Poison Ivy. When Alice said that's a weird place to put a tree, meaning inside the Batcave, and Bruce buried her underneath that tree and stuff. Or she is actually part of that tree or some crap like that, I don't know. I'm still confused as to the whole Mary Poison Ivy thing. At first, in those other couple of episodes, it felt like Mary did become Poison Ivy, but now it feels like Mary is just Mary, but under the influence of Poison Ivy. Like, it's her, but her inhibitions are coming out. Kind of like alcohol. Like, alcohol doesn't change you, it just brings out more of your personality out that you normally will keep reserved. So it's kind of like, is this really Mary? Like, is she really feeling this way? Well, I have to say, the whole Mary, like, woe is me crap is getting a bit old. She's sounding like a sad sob story now. And it's like, you're a grown woman, grow up. And so, like, we get some stuff, interesting stuff with, like, Marcus, Joker 2.0, which I had some mixed feelings about that, man. Which I had some mixed feelings, because I didn't watch the other episode that came before it, but I saw the ending. And when I saw the ending, when he was talking, I'm just like, I'm not feeling no Joker in him, you know? It's just like, I'm just not feeling it. Luke was still made into a weenie in this episode. Are they ever gonna man him up? Like, seriously. There was a cool fight action scene between the three women and stuff. I kind of missed part of that, but not really. I'm surprised the way Sophie fought. Like, really, she can do all that? Like, this is exactly why I said when Rose left the show, or Ruby or whatever her name is, they should have just made Sophie the new Batwoman, or Alice or something like that, you know? And now seeing Sophie's skills, it's kind of like, why not just make her Batwoman? But I digress. And so, like, there's another scene with Alice, but of course, Alice is like the smartest thinking person ever. But then there's a lot of plot armor stuff that happens. A lot of stuff that happened that where it's kind of like it happened out of convenience to make the plot go around. And there was some dumb things that kind of happened where the writers are kind of like, seriously, writers, you came up with that? Like, you had to get that person out of the room just so that can happen. I mean, come on, man, and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. Now, the thought of Batman burying somebody alive is kind of weird, man. It's edgy and kind of cool and interesting at one point, but it's also kind of disturbing at like another. And I have to say, the club scene, like, it's interesting. Ever since they introduced Poison Ivy, which this has been the longest story arc ever, Mad Hatter and Killer Croc, those two ended in those episodes, but this whole Poison Ivy thing is like sticking around and isn't going like nowhere. I have to say, I'm getting some Joel Schumacher, Batman and Robin vibes when it comes to Poison Ivy. There's been some homages here and there. Um, there was an homage, like, okay, Mary always wears her hair in buns, but that one time when she became Poison Ivy, she wore her hair in buns very similar to that of Uma Thurman. Also, Poison Ivy's outfit, Bridget Reagan's one, is much different from Mary's. I will do a comparison, contrast type thing a little bit later, but her outfit is very reminiscent to one similar worn by Uma Thurman. I gotta say, the Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy outfits were way better than both Mary's and the Poison Ivy in this series. And also, the Arkham games have an outfit very similar to that. Bridget's outfit is okay. Like, it's alright. It looks cool. It looks like a Poison Ivy modern outfit. I've seen that outfit so many times before. There's different variations of it. But it's still that cheap CW leather look. You know what I'm saying? They should have went more with a plant motif. Also, I was getting some Batman and Robin vibes from the club scene. That club scene reminds me of the club scene where Poison Ivy crashed the party where Batman and Robin was at, and they was fighting over her and stuff. So, in this episode, we get like some stuff with Alice and Mary, and they're like hanging out at a hotel, and they're racking up money on Sophie's card, and I guess like the Bat team is still trying to track them down, which that upsets Mary. She's like, why can't they just leave me alone? Okay, Mary's making no sense. First, Mary keeps talking about how she's invisible and nobody pays attention to her. And now when people are paying attention to her, they want to capture her behind, then it's all like, well, leave me alone. Like, make up your mind, woman. And so, like, Alice is all like, oh, well, you know, there's one way to get rid of them. You can kill them and everything. And Mary's all like, no. So the real Mary is deep down inside. And so it's kind of made me wonder who is in control right now. And so like, trying to think what happened after that. Oh, we get the Bat team. They're talking about how they're still looking for Mary, trying to find a way to neutralize her powers, trying to find a way back into the Batcave. They can't figure a way in there. And then Renee Montoya's all like, you gotta do some tough love and you have to do some things you don't want to have to do, Ryan. And, you know, you're gonna have to put Mary down and stuff and put your brother down. And the same way I put my girlfriend down and stuff. And then we get some flashbacks of Poison Ivy and Renee Montoya. Renee was just a cop and she was going, doing her test to become like a detective. And they're arguing because, you know, Poison Ivy wants to like go away and do her eco-terrorist thing, and she wants Renee to come with her. She's like, no, I can't do that stuff, and you hurt my partner too bad, and blah, 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 blah. So basically, Renee and Batman came up with a solution. Batman came up with this neutralizer agent that distills like the water in her body and shrivels her up so he could bury her and stuff. They need this enzyme to put in Mary to take away her powers and kind of like shrivel her up and everything until they can find like a cure. Ryan doesn't want to do that. Ryan's all like, we can't do that. We can't do that. We have to find another way, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on, man. Even Batman's tougher than that. This is kind of getting on my nerves with Ryan. She's too much of a goody two-shoes this season. Like, what happened to her in season 2? In season 2, she was more rough and more edgy. Now she's so like sappy and everything, and such a goody two-shoes and stuff. It's like she's afraid to even like punch somebody at times, and because like, oh no, I might hurt them and stuff like that. It's like she's become so soft this season. It's weird. And so like so I'm not liking that at all with her. She needs her edge back. And so like they are trying to determine where exactly is Poison Ivy buried at. And so they come up with every solution of where she might be at, but they're like, no, there's no way she can be there. And then out of nowhere, Ryan's all like, oh, wait a minute. If he put her in a place here to keep an eye on her, duh, the Batcave, because she looked at the tree. And they should have brought up what Alice said. They should have been like, wait a minute, Alice said, this is a weird place to put a tree. They should have brought that up instead of Ryan just popping it in her head like, ooh, I figured it out. And once again, Mr. Weenie, Mr. What's his face? Luke, he can't figure nothing out. He couldn't even figure out where Poison Ivy was buried and stuff. And he hangs out in the Batcave literally every day and stuff. And so, like, but the way they figured it out, see, first they had to get into the Batcave. So they crashed the party that Marcus is having. Marcus, like, is throwing some kind of party. I don't know what. He wants to like announce to the world, like, oh, he's all this and he's all that. Calling Ryan, talking about, like, y'all ready to see me, Gotham, blah, blah. His Joker 2.0 is not doing it for me. He's not even acting like the Joker. He's just acting like a 20-year-old gangster who has a lot of money and swag. That's all he's acting like. He's not acting like the Joker. There's nothing there other than this weird way he dresses and the purple hair and the cards to make me think of the Joker. It's not doing it for me and stuff. So they're kind of failing on that part. He plays a good spoiled, like, smug, like, gangster dude, but other than that, he's no Joker 2.0, you know what I'm saying? So they crashed the party. I missed the entire party scene. Man, I don't even know what happened. All I know, at some point, they go to where the entrance of the Batcave is at. They beat some people up. It was a cool little fight scene, you know, the way they choreography that and stuff. But I was surprised at how Sophie could fight so well. It's like, really, she has those kind of skills? You know what they're leading up to. At some point, Sophie is gonna literally be part of the Bat Team, where she's either gonna get powers or a suit or something. Watch, it's gonna happen. It happens with every stinking CW show that has to do with the Arrowverse and stuff. So they get down in the Batcave, and then that's when they deduce, oh, here's Poison Ivy and everything. Now, at the little party thing, Mary is there, and she's dancing with Marcus very badly. They did not get no dancing coach to teach both of those two. It just wasn't good. Their footwork was kind of weird. Because this is coming from a person who watches dancing reality shows, so, you know, and imitates what they do, and, you know, and it's kind of like, I can tell they need some more practice. And so Mary, of course, spills the beans that, hey, you want to know who Batwoman is? You want to know who Batwing is and everything? Because she needs to get Ryan off her back and stuff. So while Marcus is dealing with her, she can go and, oh, be the woman she's always wanted to be and everything. Sleep around and eat lots of food and spend lots of money and crap. And so, like, I will say, when it comes to the actress who plays Mary Nicole, she is looking great as this Poison Ivy 2.0 with the hair, the makeup, the dress, and everything. Some of her performances in this episode is kind of hit or miss with me. There are times when it's like really good, and then there are other times where it's kind of like flat, because she keeps trying to make her voice sound sexy and sultry and stuff, and because of that, she loses momentum in her voice and like air and stuff, and it's causing her to sound a bit hollow. But other than that, like, her performance is pretty cool. I'm very impressed by her and stuff, because when it comes to her acting, like, Ruby was like the worst actress on the show, and the actress who plays Mary, she was kind of like the second worst, you know what I'm saying? Because she hasn't had that many acting like gigs and stuff like that. And so it was kind of like, there are times where, like I always said before, her best work was always with Dougray Scott and stuff. They always were good on playing off each other. And so, like, so while they're in the Batcave doing this and doing that, Luke, of course, gets captured by Marcus because he's a weenie and everything. The dude needs to man up. So they find Poison Ivy. They get the enzyme. And Batwoman goes to find, like, Mary. And so when she confronts Mary and everything, they have like a little speech. And then here comes Luke and Marcus with a gun pointed to Lucas' head and stuff, or Luke's head and everything. And so, of course, we already know what's going to happen. Batwoman's not going to inject Mary, because if she does, Luke gets shot. But then Batwoman does something unexpected. I did not see this coming. She throws the device at Marcus. It lands directly in his chest. I thought she killed him, but nope. She just shriveled him up and drained all the water out of his body and stuff. I'm like, dude, I couldn't believe that. I did not see that coming. And so now they're desperately trying to like save him and everything. And dude. Now, when Renee did that to Poison Ivy and everything, that was a cool scene. That was some really good CGI and everything. And so, like, while they're in the Batcave, they tell straight up, she leaves Sophie and Renee there with Poison Ivy all shriveled up. She's all like, you can't even cry, you can't spit, you can't do nothing on her, because the liquid will, like, rejuvenate her and all this other stuff, right? Well, of course, here comes plot armor. Sophie thinks about Alice, and she's reminded of something about cheesecake and racking up bills on her card and this and that. So she realizes she knows where Alice is, and she has to leave at this moment while Batwoman's with Poison Ivy 2.0 and Luke is with Joker 2.0, and down in the Batcave is shriveled up Poison Ivy and Renee. So of course Sophie has to leave and go attend to Alice. Convenient. So she goes to Alice. Alice all like, I figured it out and everything. Haven't you figured it out? And she does this little mind game talk and everything, talking about how Renee's been playing us for a fool. She doesn't say how. She just tells her to go to Renee's office. They, of course, keep Sophie far, far away from Renee. Renee finds a little detonator device that she's been bluffing with. Was never going to do anything to Alice and stuff. So, of course, here comes Renee seeing a flower, because Poison Ivy can hear them. So she makes a flower come appear. And boom, she kisses Poison Ivy. I assume she was just going to kiss her, sentimental. But of course, it was going to wake her up because the saliva is liquid. But then it turns out, oh no, Renee played them. She was just looking for Poison Ivy because she wants to be with her. Now, Renee is a corrupt, crooked cop. So where is this gonna go? Did she do it out of love and everything so that she can just have her woman back? Or is she gonna turn to a life of crime? That's gonna be interesting. If she turns into a life of crime, that's gonna piss on like so many fans, because I like Renee Montoya when she was introduced in Batman the Animated Series. She was a cool cop. She didn't have many episodes, but she was cool whenever they showed her. So it's kind of like she's an original character created from a cartoon show, placed in the comics, and then in live action. Don't piss on her, man. But they're going to piss on her, because that's what Greg Bertinelli and all them other people love to do. They love to piss. And so, like, here we go now with Mary. And I forgot who she's hanging out with. I think she was hanging out with, I don't know if it was, I think she was hanging out with Alice or some crap like that. Because, of course, Sophie didn't go. Well, she handcuffed Alice, but Alice got herself free. Why didn't she take her? But this, ooh, the writing sometimes on this show, I swear to God. They just did that so she can be again with Mary. And of course, Alice loves herself some evil Mary now. And here's Mary. Oh, woe is me. Did Ryan attack her brother because she was trying to save Luke? Or like, or she just didn't want her secret exposed to the world and everything? Because that's what Marcus was going to do. And so Mary's all like, oh, woe is me. I'm just like, shut your mouth, you grown stinking woman. Like, seriously. Here she is. Nobody looks at me. Nobody thinks about me. I'm so invisible. In season 1, she had a hidden underground clinic. She wanted to be hidden. Then in season 2, nobody's paying attention to her. because they're busy like doing other stuff and trying to save people. Oh, nobody's paying attention to me. And now in the third season, oh, nobody wants to listen to me. Where did all this whining crap come from with her, man? Like, she's never acted this way before. But now she's acting like a little, oh, woe is me, middle child. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting on my nerves. They need to, because once she goes back to being normal, she's still going to feel that way. Because apparently this is really her and everything. Or they might just let her keep her power so they can always do the, oh, everybody has to be a superhero type thing in these shows, you know? And so they're trying to save Marcus, but they're afraid he might remember their secret identities. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I doubt they're gonna create Joker 2.0 just to get rid of him that fast. You know what I'm saying? And so now the hunt is on for Poison Ivy 1.0 and Renee Montoya and Poison Ivy 2.0 and Alice. But you know, I've been talking about everybody, but I haven't talked about Poison Ivy 1.0. What do I think about her? Well, I have to say, I'm always a huge fan of Bridget Regan. Like, I've been a fan of her since Legend of the Seeker. Go watch that show on Hulu. It's very cool. It's medieval, it's swords, it's magic, stuff like that. I was very impressed with her when she played Dottie in Agent Carter. I was very impressed when she was in Last Ship. When it comes to this show, I'm still impressed. But she's not really acting like Poison Ivy to be tell you the truth. Mary is doing a better job of being Poison Ivy than Bridget. And Bridget's supposed to be 1.0. The problem I'm having with Bridget is that she's only playing one side of Poison Ivy, the mean side, the eco-terrorist side, the jaded lover side. She's not playing the sultry, sexy side of Poison Ivy. And that's kind of like bugging me a little bit. They haven't written her to be like that way. This Poison Ivy's more stubborn, more arrogant, more headstrong, more confident. So she holds her head up high and she expects everybody to do what she wants her to do. But she's not acting like, she's not seducing people. That's what Mary is like doing. Maybe that part of her is still inside Mary because the next episode, her and Mary come face to face and somehow like, oh, thank you for keeping like part of me in you, some crap like that, you know, something like that. So I need her to be her sexy self. I don't know if I've ever seen her play like a sexy seductress like type role. Her characters in those shows I mentioned were never like that. Now, one thing about her, I always liked about her, is that she has this youthful, aloof look, smile to her eyes and to her and her smile and everything. And that aloofness is kind of throwing me off because that's not like Poison Ivy. But that's just like in her eyes, like the way her eyes light up and stuff. It was great for like Dottie and everything, and at times it was great for Kaylin. Now she knows how to play a serious role. She knows how to play like a tough role. She knows how to play a warrior. She knows how to play a soldier. And she knows how to play like a crazy assassin person. But they're not giving her what I want to see. And that's the seductress side. So far, Mary is doing that and stuff. And it's kind of bugging because this is who Poison Ivy is. I still think, I think her name is Christina Hendricks. She should have played Poison Ivy. That woman just oozes like sex appeal and everything and stuff like that. And that's who Poison Ivy is supposed to be. She's supposed to like ooze out sex appeal. Like whenever I think of like Batman the animated series, they always drew her in a very like va va voom, like old school, like no woman or man can resist me kind of way, you know what I'm saying? And even Uma Thurman had all that, but for some reason they're not writing that for her. But then again, we haven't seen her. We've only seen her in flashbacks when she was upset. So maybe they will write her like that. But with that outfit, I don't see that happening. I think they're gonna write her version of Poison Ivy to be very straightforward and stuff. As for the costume, like I said before, it's fine. It's a little cheap looking, but it's fine. I've seen variations of it. Mary's outfit looks more like a Poison Ivy outfit than hers, and you knew how I felt about the Mary outfit and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.